Okay, so we are back in our form. Remember, up until this point, we created the form in our Google Classroom as a quiz. We came in here, put our questions in here, and we've also talked about how to look at the responses and also how, at the very bottom down here, how to grade an open-ended response. But what happens if we want to be able to look at more than just a summary? Now, don't get me wrong, these summaries are great because it gives you an overall bird's eye view with these lovely charts of how your students are doing as a class on each individual question. But if you would like to see how the class is doing as a whole and see the responses as a whole, the best way to do that is to send their responses to a spreadsheet. So if we are in our form, so here's your regular part of the form, here's our responses tab. We're now going to go over here and we take a look at this little green icon here and it says create a spreadsheet. You'll notice that it takes the name of the quiz itself and it's also going to create the spreadsheet in the same folder where our quiz is currently stored. So I'm not going to change this because I want these to stay the same. I'm going to click create and down here it says it's linking to the spreadsheet and then your spreadsheet will automatically pop up for you. So you notice that you have a time date stamp so you can see when they took the quiz. Gives you their email address because we have that automatically collected, and then it gives you the score. You'll notice it's not a percent score, which I wish Google would do that because for teachers, I think they would probably I would like to see a percentage as a teacher. I mean, granted, I can figure that out, but it won't give you a percentage score. It just gives you the number out of the total number possible. But what you're going to see here, let me make this a little bit larger, is that it's hard to read the questions. So we need to format this to make everything easier to read. So the first step in doing that is I'm going to click on this box here. I called it Omni box because it selects everything in the spreadsheet. And then I'm going to come over here. You might not need to click the More button, but I do in this case so that I can gain access to these other features that I want to be able to use. I want to use the text wrapping and I want to set it to wrap. So automatically you see a difference right here. And now I want to center the responses in the middle of the cell vertically and also horizontally. So I'm using the text wrapping, the vertical alignment, and the horizontal alignment to get everything aligned the way that I like. Unfortunately, as new responses come in, they won't format automatically like this. So if you want to keep it all nice and neat the way that it's shown here, you'll have to repeat those 3 steps after the new responses come in. I wish there was a way around that quickly, but unfortunately there isn't. So if we go back into our form real quick and I click the eyeball to actually take it, I want to show you how instantaneously these responses come in. Click submit. And now I go back to my form and boom, there it is. So they come in exceedingly fast and poor Daisy Duck didn't do well at all. So if you just need to format one row, you just click the number for that row and then again, text wrap, alignment, and alignment. Of course, you can also go in and change the font size if you want to. I have this set to zoom into 125 to make it easier to read, but if we want to be able to kind of see more of it, we can use our scroll bar down here at the bottom to see all the responses. Now let's take a look at a situation back with our quiz itself. And so I want to show you a situation where if you put a question and let's say you don't have it in the right order, that can cause problems if you've already created the spreadsheet. So I want to show you how to fix that. So let's say that I want this question to be first. So I'm going to pull it all the way up underneath first and last name. So if I go back in here to my spreadsheet, you'll notice that it didn't change the order of where that question goes because the spreadsheet already kind of knows what it's doing. It knows where the questions are supposed to be. So if you, I had this set up so I can only fill it out one time. So let me change that real quickly. Save. Okay, so I'm going to change this and fill it out again. Okay, so you'll notice that even though I changed the order of the questions, it's still putting the answers in the correct order, But if you don't want to look at it in this order, you want it to reflect the same order that's in your form, how do we fix this? So let's take a look at how to do that. So I'm going to go back into my form itself, and I'm going to go back to this icon. If I click View Responses in Sheets, it's just going to open that sheet right back up, and right now that's not what we want. What we want is to go to these three dots that are right here to the right side of that little icon. And we want to select a response destination. And you may already say, well, we already have a response destination. Yes, we do, but this is going to select a new response destination. We don't want to create a new spreadsheet though, because we already have that spreadsheet. What we want to do is we want to select an existing spreadsheet. Click Select. It's going to pull up the last one you had opened first. So here's this one right here. I'm going to click this one, and what it's going to do, it's going to create a brand new tab in that same spreadsheet. So it says my spreadsheet is linked. So now I can click this and I'm back in my spreadsheet. And now you notice what question is showed up. So if you look down here at the bottom, form responses 1, these were the original responses. Form responses 2. It did not delete any of my responses. The only thing that it did is it created a brand new sheet in the same spreadsheet because I asked it to. And now it has the questions in the order that I want them to be in. So all I have to do now is go back through this and format it to the way that I want it to actually look. And now my questions are in the order that I want them to be. So word of warning, don't create your spreadsheet until you are sure that you have your questions in the exact order that you want them to be. Otherwise, you'll have to go through the process that I just showed you. It's not a huge deal, but still it just takes a little bit of time. So hopefully you have found this helpful to be able to view the responses in a spreadsheet. See you next time.